Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to another video. And in today's video, I just want to talk about my thoughts on Tron. I got to ride it last night for the first time. I ended up going twice. It was, in short, it was awesome. But yeah, if you guys are going to enjoy this video, please remember to subscribe and hit that thumbs up. When you get to the TTC, your party leader, in this case, my friend Zach, would show them a confirmation code and they would scan their pass. And then you would get a wristband that says Tron on it. And then you just head to the Magic Kingdom, whatever your personal preference was. Once you head over to Space Mountain, you're going to get to a check-in area where the cast members are going to ensure that you have your wristband. Basically, the wristbands, they switch out every once in a while depending on your return time, which is interesting. That way, they make sure you're not coming back or whatever. And it was pretty cool to get to walk along the side of the Space Mountain gift shop. Obviously, as you can see, they're still redoing it. So there is still some progress to go, but the path is good, and it's really cool at night. The lighting on the side actually syncs with the Tron canopy, which is pretty cool. And then once you get there, you walk straight up to the Tron sign, which is pretty cool. When we got there, it wasn't lit up, but when we left, it was lit up. Obviously, a big line to take pictures with it. And then from there, you can actually start to get up close next to the ride. You can see that the ride obviously goes overhead of you and around. And to the left is going to be this really cool pathway that's going to connect between Storybook Circus and Tron, or Tomorrowland in general. Pretty cool how they've done that. I'm excited to actually walk that path. I did not get a chance, or it's not open, one of the two. And then as you move up, you get a view under the canopy, which is it's really cool. It was honestly really cool to be there, just walking around for the first time in so long after watching it be built. It was honestly very cool to be there, but it's really cool. I like how the bottom where the pathway goes, they have all these different kinds of plants. It's really cool. It fits very well. It's a very pretty ride. But then you get to watch the actual coaster go over you and around, and then you get to walk towards the right side where basically you go outside of the canopy and you enter into the actual line. In our case, we just had to scan my friend Zach's pass again, where we got in line. And then from that point, basically it's a really cool shape. It's like it just goes over you kind of like in a U shape, and then it gets smaller as you go back. And then at the end of the outside part is the camera that's used in the movie to digitize you into the world of Tron. And so once you pass into there, they send you into which is called the pre-show, and it's this cool room. It's got like power LED things along the side of it, and basically it's just a hallway. And then from there, when you're ready to go in, a door is going to open and you're going to walk into this room. And basically, there's going to be two of these rooms. There's two sides for Team Blue, basically, but they're going to meet these boxes in the middle. And inside the boxes, it's really cool because you walk into a room that you don't kind of see a way out. It's kind of like Guardians, pretty cool, that same kind of concept of, oh, you don't know what's happening. But then, super cool effect. I'll just let it play out.
Users, prepare to be digitized into the world of Tron.
Oh my god. But yeah, a super cool effect that basically just, it's got that like the polarized glass or whatever it's called, but it basically has a really cool effect on the glass, and then it opens up and then boom, there's the launch right there. And then out of nowhere, the door on the right or the left side is going to magically open, and then from there you actually, now you're in the grid, you're in the world of Tron, and you get to walk overhead of the launch. Man, it's so cool. It is very cool getting to walk right next to where they launch and watching the launch and getting right next to the track. It's very cool. And then you get to walk over it if you're on the right side. And then basically from there, there's another queue. And this queue is actually led by a cast member at the very front, who is basically a grouper who is sending you to your lockers. And then from there, you get to move on to the lockers. Now, there are 700 lockers. There are a lot. But the locker process is super easy. I really like it. All you do is you just find one, go up, scan your band, put your stuff in, close it, and then boom, the light goes from blue until it's not showing anymore. And honestly, for me, it was like perfectly sized. Like my backpack fit perfectly in there. I didn't have any problems with it. I mean, obviously for people carrying bigger stuff, they would have problems, but I've heard that you can have multiple lockers, so that's not an issue. As I said, there are 700, there are quite a bit. And then from there, basically, you're going to take a right, and then you enter the main station. So basically, the station's really cool. It's big. It's really big. Like that room is really cool. So basically, it's kind of the same concept with Guardians again. Is you're gonna go down the stairs and then turn around like this. And what's cool is there's a you actually can load on the left and the right, just like Guardians again. But I'm gonna pause right there. I say just like Guardians, but it's really just like Tron because my friend mentioned last night that in reality they built Tron before Guardians over in Shanghai, and then they took what worked from that and then built it at Guardians and then built it again. So it's really just taking inspiration from the original ride because it works so well. But anyways, you're gonna go down, and then basically a grouper at the bottom is gonna split you from the left side or the right side. In the back of each train there's going to be a separate load station for the bigger cars, which is obviously going to be on two, not all the trains, but two of the trains are going to have the sit-down cars for accessible guests. And that I forgot to mention, the test train is on the outside too. You can test to make sure that you're going to fit. I think a lot of people they were blowing it out of proportion. It's not that small. It's just the hardest part to fit in, I've heard, is the calf pins, the part that goes over your calf. But then from there, you're going to be grouped into where you're going to ride. I got to ride twice, once in row 4, and then I waited for row 1. Row 1 actually has a separate line for row 1 just because of how long the anticipated wait times are going to be for that row. And at least for the rides that we didn't have to wait long once we were actually grouped because they were running it really efficiently. The ride is very efficient. But basically, you're going to go up, and you're going to enter straight across for the right side, or I guess the side that's closest to you, you're just going to enter straight in. But then the other side, which is really cool, it has this graphic, and you're going to cross in between the trains and go around to make it more efficient so you're not climbing over them. Very smart. Very cool to cross through the trains. It's cool because that platform allows you to just step on it, walk right across. And then from there, what you're going to do, unfortunately, I couldn't film on the ride. I don't have a GoPro, and filming is not allowed. So basically, your loose belongings that you can bring with you are going to fit into a little pocket. It's actually pretty big. You just lift it up, put your stuff in there, and then close it. And then to secure your restraints, all you're going to do is reach forward and pull back the handlebars, and then the back piece is going to close on you. And you can kind of adjust it to how tight you want it. I personally did it really tight, so I got the whole effect of the bike, which was honestly worth it because when you're like leaning forward, it's got a really cool effect. And then from there, basically, you're going to go and curve around to the launch. Now, talk about the launch. The launch is fast. It's not as fast as Rock and Roller Coaster, which is my favorite launch, but it's fast. It gets going very quickly. I don't think videos really do it justice on how fast it is, but the launch is great. And you go outside, straight up, shoot around. It's so cool. You get a really, really cool view. And you can actually go super low, right next to where the guests walk. That is one of my favorite parts of the ride. And then from there, you go right up into the top of the building, and you hit your first block zone. And then from there, you enter the inside of the show building. And, okay, so I rode it twice, but I honestly need a lot more rides to understand what's going on inside the building because there's a lot of stuff. And obviously, for just 2 times, I didn't really get to see a lot of what was going on. But it's really cool. Basically, the concept, I believe, is what they're saying in the queue was that you have to pass through like 8 zones to defeat Team Orange or something like that. And you can actually hear them counting on the onboard audio, counting each zone as you go through it. And it's kind of cool because now, while there are a lot of block zones on the ride, it's a good break because honestly, the mid courses are pretty quick. But there's a lot of really cool mid courses. There's a few drops. And there's a lot of cool effects. Like one of the effects at the end, you're going basically along the wall and the other light cycle is projected along the side of you. It's really cool. And then when the light cycle gets beat at the very end, on the right side, like there's a bunch of mirrors and the colors go everywhere. It's very cool. And then eventually you're going to come back into the station. Same kind of effect that Guardians has with the lighting, kind of goes crazy. And then you come straight in. Honestly, people are complaining about the length. I don't think it's all that. I think that people who are saying that it's too short are just wrong. Because I saw a thing, it's longer than Space Mountain and Thunder Mountain. Maybe just because it's fast, it feels short. But like for me, I didn't think it was short at all. I thought that it was a great length. I really, really enjoyed it. Like it was a very, very fun ride. And then they have a lot of room, honestly, because as my friend mentioned, basically the amount of block zones, they're running so many trains because they have so many block zones, which makes the ride super efficient, which is honestly awesome. But then you're going to pull into the station, which is right behind actually where you would load. And then you get off that in the same way. The person who's closest to the side just gets off. The person who's on the other side will get off and go around and through the trains. Basically, you're going to go up a ramp and some more ramps, and then you're going to go back to the opposite side of the lockers where you're going to go, scan your magic band, pick up your stuff, and exit out. From there, you're going to hit a long hallway, and basically at the end, there's going to be this section where they're actually still building it, but I believe it's either going to be Photo Pass or a gift shop. They have some stuff that they're still working on. It's previews. The ride doesn't open for 2 months. Not a big deal. And then from there, you're just going to exit kind of right next to where the very entrance is, but there's obviously going to be separated by the canopy. And then from there, you can just kind of explore. It's kind of cool because that's the part where I was talking about where the train goes really low. I'll throw in this video. It's so cool how close you can get to the train. But other than that, I kind of want to just talk about my thoughts on the ride. I think it's a really fun ride. It did take them a while to build it, but I mean, now Magic Kingdom has a absolutely amazing addition to their park. So, I mean, I can't be too mad at it because it is really fun. The virtual queue is definitely going to be great. I say that because those lines are going to be so long. No surprise. I mean, that ride is great. There's going to be a lot of hype for it. So, yeah, the lines are going to be very long, but the virtual queue will help for sure. We mentioned that the outside queue, the small portion that there is definitely going to get hot during the sun because it is pretty much directly in the sun, and also rain. One interesting thing about the rain is that ride can operate in the rain and the lightning. Very interesting. So that means that when it rains, especially once it opens in the summer, there's not going to be as much downtime compared to Thunder Mountain and Seven Dwarfs, which is great. Onboard audio. The onboard audio is awesome. If you haven't watched Tron Legacy, please go watch that movie. It is so good. And all the Tron Daft Punk music is projected everywhere along the ride. It is truly great. And it's loud. It's really loud. That's one thing that we all kind of notice. This music is really loud, which I don't mind because it kind of adds to the experience. It's good. The actual train is very interesting. The way you get in it, it's kind of tedious. It'll take a couple times to actually get used to getting in and out. Not a big deal, but I love the bike feel. It's like Hagrid's is more of like you're sitting on it. You can lean if you want to, but with Tron, you're kind of forced to lean. You can sit up a little bit, but I love the leaning effect. It gets you into the ride a lot, and I really like that. And somebody said that you should put your hands up, so I tried it. It's fun. When you don't hold on to it, it's kind of cool to just be free and just flow with the grid, and it's honestly a really cool way to experience it. And a different way you can experience it is the row that you sit on. So the front row is definitely going to be the most thrilling. You're getting the most wind in your face. I mean, my eyes were tearing up. And then the back row is where you can get the view of the rest of the light cycles as they're going through the ride, which is really cool because you can kind of experience the show scenes a little bit more than the front row, which is pretty cool. One thing that I noticed is once we entered the inside of the show building is I was actually able to see other trains running on the track below us. That was really cool. The illuminated train really helps to make it stand out and visible at least. And oh my gosh, guys, nighttime. The second ride was at nighttime. Oh wow, that canopy when it's fully lit up and actually reacting with the trains is so cool. It's cool because the canopy reacts with the trains, which react with the music, so they're all synced together. Wow, it is truly a piece of art. I wish I had more time to explore it and go back and take a lot more footage and photos, but it was kind of rushed. Not a big deal. I'll have another chance with annual pass previews, but it is really, really cool at night. And riding at night, it definitely gets a different experience because you're more immersed into it, but it would be just as fun thrill-wise during the day. So no complaints there. But honestly, guys, it's crazy because we just got Guardians. Guardians isn't even a year old, and yet we're getting another e-ticket coaster at Disney, which is kind of crazy. But it's insane how Disney really has a great lineup of coasters now, like an amazing lineup of coasters. And I'm really excited for Magic Kingdom to start getting completed now because we got Tron, the train's back, Gianna's Bayou Adventure. Eventually, there's more stuff that's going to come. I would love to talk about that sometime, but Tomorrowland at least feels really complete now with Tron opened, and it feels really good. And Space Mountain also looks great the way they've been refurbishing it to match like the color and to make sure it's white to fit everything. The white is an interesting color scheme, but I don't mind it. It's kind of that clean, minimalist Tomorrowland look that it's pretty good at least. But yeah, guys, I'm going to try and mix in some of the vlog elements into this video as much as I can. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe and leave a like down below. Comment if you're excited for Tron. I'm hoping to make more Magic Kingdom videos soon. And hopefully I'll be at the dedication ceremony for this ride. I'm hoping. We got about 2 months. And I'll definitely be back for annual pass previews. So expect another video on Tron. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day.
I mean, we could wait till it gets a little bit. I'm down. Because it's not like we have to drive.